Hello and welcome. It's Kevin Doherty here with kevindohertyonline.com, and I'd like to welcome you to this video training on prospering in the new paradigm. We're going to be covering the three pillars of a purposeful and profitable online business. And the entire point of this webinar here is to build your online empire in the next 3 months. And it really is possible. I'm going to lay out a very clear foundation for you in terms of how you're going to do this. So I really appreciate you being here with me right now, and I encourage you to give this video your fullest attention because what we're going to be covering over the next few minutes, I really think it's some of the most important information you can really integrate into your life. I mean, there's nothing more important than building a business that frees you up, feels like it's on purpose, and really has the mission of helping people all over the planet. So that's what we're going to be covering here. And like I said, give this video your fullest focus and consider it a meditation of sorts that we're going to be stretching your vision of what is possible and expanding your belief system and definitely laying out a very clear action plan for you in combination with expanding your inner blueprint. So I hope the information is extremely helpful, and let's go ahead and jump right in. So this webinar is going to give you an extremely clear and comprehensive structure for creating your ideal business using the internet. And we're going to cover the three pillars of your online business that I have found to be integral to your success, fulfillment, and prosperity as an entrepreneur. Now, in my coaching experience, almost all of the people that have come to work with me initially that have wanted to get involved with internet marketing or establishing an online presence are missing at least one of these pillars, or it's just very deficient. And this is the main reason why they aren't seeing the results that they'd like, why they're struggling more than they would like. And, I definitely want to throw this out there. This webinar is not going to be the typical internet marketing, hype-based approach. I'm about to share real value with you here that I have spent the last several years of my life learning, testing, refining, and mastering. So this is not something that's a hobby for me. I mean, I've really dedicated so much of my career to really learning and applying what I'm about to share with you here. So I hope that this really expedites your own path to success and, gives you the kind of essential principles you need to understand to take action fast and to avoid overwhelm and, confusion, which I know is extremely common. So the information in this webinar is really ideally suited for coaches, consultants, speakers, trainers, bloggers, and service-based business owners who want to use the internet to get more exposure, increase sales, and free up more of their time. I've really structured this webinars for people who want to make a difference in the world. They want to integrate their deeper core values with their work and then use the internet to get out there and help as many people as they possibly can. So, really whatever your business is, your unique offering, if that's your intention, the information that I'm going to lay out for you here should be very helpful. So take action on what you're about to learn, as these three pillars are truly the gateway to the business you have always envisioned and the life you want to live. And you know how it goes. I mean, in coaching, it's really helpful to obviously, absorb a lot of great information and take it in and get inspired by that. But what really matters is implementation and getting out there and really just moving on this stuff and not allowing yourself to get stuck in analysis paralysis or allowing mental clutter to really slow down your own progress towards creating the life that you really want. So just a little about me in case I'm new to you. I grew up with a deep interest in spirituality, psychology, and personal growth, mainly because from a very young age, I was searching for answers to life's big questions, such as who am I, why am I here, and what am I going to do about it? And honestly, these questions not only frustrated me, but they caused a lot of inner turmoil because I felt like I was living in a culture that did not really have answers for me. And I felt like it was almost to the point where everything that I was seeing around me almost stood as an obstacle to answering these questions in a very clear and deep way. So I knew from basically from my teenage years that answering these questions was going to be my primary purpose in life. And if I did not somehow come to terms with these questions, I would never feel comfortable here and really, feel like I could settle into my own skin and get grounded on this planet. So this was a big commitment for me from a very young age. And actually, I got a bachelor's degree in Eastern Religious Studies, and then I pursued a master's degree in Chinese medicine. And I decided to put my focus on healing and alternative medicine, and basically open up a private practice several years ago. And it was during this time that I was introduced to the quote unquote real world and was basically slapped upside the head with the reality of having to provide for my family, make money, and learn how to run a business. So all of these deeper questions that I had that kind of compelled me to get into healing and meditation and things like this. Well, the reality call came in when I decided to open my practice, because it was now time to switch gears and take on a completely new role in my life, one that I had never known before or been accustomed to. So because of this, I developed a really deep passion for marketing, entrepreneurship, and business development, and specifically the potential that I saw in using the internet. And I was able to grow a very successful private practice, but soon realized that seeing 70 patients a week was not really aligned with my deeper values, and it did not feel very sustainable to me. So more and more, I just decided to venture into the world of internet marketing, and I got really interested in this because I saw so much potential. And you know how it is, you just intuitively sense that there's something there for you. There's a lot of power there for you. And I felt that at this time, and I knew that I wanted a business that would lead to true lifestyle freedom. So I ended up writing my first ebook, I built a new website, and I started offering a business coaching program to holistic and alternative medicine practitioners. And I quickly sold over 1,000 copies of that ebook. And I built a very large worldwide coaching organization, almost entirely using the internet to do this. And my blog, kevindohertyonline.com, it's really the culmination of years spent learning and mastering online business. Because of this, I know the challenges you're facing. I mean, trust me, I have definitely been where you are, looking at all the options out there and wondering what is the best way to grow? What sort of advice should I take? Who should I trust out there? And in particular, if you're really looking to integrate your deeper purpose with internet marketing and with building an online business that you love, it can be extremely challenging to know who to turn to for help with this. And that's honestly why I've created this information for you, because when I was out there building all this on my end, I felt like I had to do so much of it just on my own. I really didn't see that there was a lot of guidance specific to, I think, people that have integrity and that really want to create something that has high emotional intelligence and awareness. It felt to me like so much of the internet marketing information out there was just gimmicky and kind of hype-based and honestly quite superficial. So I, really struggled with that, and I did a lot of trial and error trying to get these pieces of the puzzle together for myself. And once again, that's just why I'm glad you're here right now, because I can relate to those struggles that you might be facing at this time. And because of that, I also know that you are definitely capable of creating an absolutely amazing business using the internet. You see, once you overcome these challenges and you do get the right guidance, I mean, the sky is the limit. Using the internet to build a business, it should be set up so there really is no ceiling on it, and it can really create whatever level of lifestyle freedom that you're looking for. So I hope that inspires you to hear that. I know there are a lot of cynics and naysayers out there that will tell you otherwise. And from this point forward, I just encourage you to surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up. Whether that's being a part of my community, or if you have other mentors or coaches or colleagues out there, you really want to surround yourself with people that are all, basically committed to the same values and purpose as yourself. So, simply put, I really don't care what anyone else has told you. If you're willing to learn and implement what I'm about to share, the sky truly is the limit. You can do this, and I consider it my job to make this as easy, fun, and rewarding for you, really, as I possibly can. Because it should be this. We want this to be a graceful, relatively stress-free and fun process for you. If you're feeling like a lot of just inner distress and difficulty around building your online business, it's a red flag that something is off. And either your knowledge and your skills are just deficient, or your mindset needs some shifting. And that's some of what we're going to be covering here today. So I just want to plant the seed, though. You definitely can do this. And I'm going to make this as easy as I can for you. All right, so let's jump into pillar number 1. Very simple. We want to get you clear, and I call this illumination. We want to develop this quality of inner illumination. So what does this mean? Well, before we create your empire, we have to develop some inner clarity, and it's essential to get extremely intimate with your purpose and mission. And this is really best done by answering a series of questions. So I'm just going to lay out these questions. You might want to write them down and then take, an hour or two of your time to really contemplate the answers to these questions and write down your answers. So question number 1, what is the unique value that you alone have to offer this world? And that seems like such a simple, direct question, but it's one that a lot of us overlook. I think because it is so kind of right in front of us, but you definitely want to be able to answer this question with as much clarity as you possibly can. Second question, what sets you on fire about offering this? Why are you so passionate about offering the value that you have to share to the world? What gets you so excited about that? Because, what gets people to buy your products and services is feeling the enthusiasm that you radiate to them. If they feel that, it's a very compelling quality that naturally inspires them to invest in what you have to offer. What does your ideal business look like? Write down in detail what your ideal business looks like in terms of how many hours a week you're working, what is your gross and net income, what percentage of your income is coming from passive income, meaning you don't have to trade time for money to get it. Where are your clients coming from? How are you marketing? How much time do you have to spend on the whole project? Do you have support staff? Just down to the last detail. Try to intuitively kind of sculpt out what is ideal for you. It's different for all of us. But with an online business, I think for so many of us, we're on the same page. We want to see these certain qualities of freedom shine through in our life. So I just want you to write down what those qualities are in as much detail as you can. What does your ideal day look like? So from the moment you get up in the morning till the time you go to bed at night, what are you doing with your time? I mean, I'm sure it's not being spent entirely in front of the computer for 10 hours a day, right? You're out there doing other things. Maybe you have hobbies. Personally, I try to play tennis 6 or 7 times a week if I can. So, you have certain things that you want to fit in that are just totally outside of work. And that's great. I think you need that. But I want you to get very clear on if there were no limits, no constraints in your life, how would you spend your time? What would that look like? And you really get clear in your mind to the point of being able to just craft that out on paper so you know exactly what you're looking for in your life and how your business is a gateway to expressing that. Now, how have your past struggles led you to where you are now? This is a really important question because so much of the ways that we've personally suffered or struggled in our lives is exactly how we're supposed to help others. It's transforming that suffering into a certain level of substance and depth that we now have to offer the world and can package and kind of promote that based on having a specific intention to help people. So what have you struggled with? How have you suffered in your life? How have you overcome that? And what is it about what you're offering now that relates to your past story? Very important question. And honestly, your customers really love hearing that from you, and they love that when the vulnerability shines through. Now, why is there a deep need, longing, or even desperate desire for what you have to offer? So, it's great to be passionate about what you're doing and to try to build an online empire just based on what you love. But if there's not a market of people out there that actually are just dying for that information or for that solution, it's not really going to work. And in fact, many people make this crucial mistake. They never answer this question and do a needs analysis of their market. And you really want to find a way to package your unique gifts and services in a way that people out there are just going to starve for it. They're going to just want it so badly. So we typically kind of break this down into, the kind of core desires that people have, which is they want to make more money, they want more financial freedom, They want more business success. They want better relationships. They want more love. They want to be more attractive. They want better health. Like they want to lose weight. They want more energy, right? So those are kind of like the kind of key foundational kind of offerings that always work. I mean, it's really hard to go wrong if you're offering something in one of those niches. If you're doing something outside of health, money, business, or love, I would say take a really close, honest look at it and say, is this really going to work? Is there really a desperate need for this? Now, an exception to that is if you're offering information that is related to a hobby like golf or tennis. Like for me, I consider, improving my tennis game to be a very deep desire that I have. I will invest money in that. And if that's more of your interest and your focus, that's great. I mean, I think hobbies can do extremely well online. But you just want to really take the time to analyze how desperate is the need for what you have to offer, and are people already is it already proven that people are willing to spend money on solving their problems in that particular niche? If you can answer yes to that, keep moving forward. If you're unclear about that, you need to do some market research. You need to hang out on Google and on Facebook and on Twitter and just get a sense of what your competition is doing, or other people in that industry, and see if they're really successful. And you really want to go for industries that have been proven to be successful. Don't try to reinvent the wheel, because it generally doesn't work, and there are rare exceptions to that. But really make sure that your focus is on helping people who have been, it's been proven without any question that they want that help and they're willing to invest money in it. So the goal of developing inner clarity is to turn you into a persuasive and empowered entrepreneur who communicates in a compelling and solution-oriented way. And this is the basis of attracting people to your message and selling your services or products without effort. And there is a way to do this, and it's a really magical quality in selling. I actually call it selling without selling, where you're really educating people and sharing a lot of value and inspiring them. And a lot of it just comes through in your own presence. People want to be around you and to partake in what you uniquely have to offer, because it all lines up. And you're radiating a quality of inner empowerment. If you're still holding on to a lot of struggling around your own survival and a lot of anxiety about how you're going to make it in your business, and you're really focused on the economy or other external circumstances, and you feel like a certain loss of control or power in that way, well, it's going to be very difficult for you to really thrive in your online business, because people subconsciously sense that. They can energetically sense how connected you are with your own sense of inner power and your purpose. And it's really, in my experience, a matter of where you choose to put your focus moment to moment. So you want to get in the habit of training your mind to focus on expansion, on abundance, on committing to your purpose, on really owning what you have responsibility for, what you have power over, and choosing to not focus so much on external conditions or on things that are out of your control. Or even on the feeling of lack sometimes, or the anxiety. Like, don't nourish those qualities. Don't feed them, because that's going to radiate an energy of desperation or of lack to your audience, and that is not what we want. That is not a compelling way to try to build your online business. So this is an absolutely key point. And if you can really commit to heightening this pillar, the first of these three pillars, you can actually be not nearly as developed in the next two that I'm going to share, and it can still work. That's actually been my experience. Of course, we want to make you very developed in all three of these, but this is your foundation. And as long as you have this foundation in place of inner empowerment, you really don't have to be that great of a marketer or to be an extremely savvy entrepreneur to have some level of success, because people mostly just want to feel your leadership and your inspiration. And if that comes through, even if your website doesn't look great or you don't have the right follow-up systems in place, it can still work. But if you don't have this foundation in place, I think it's virtually impossible to succeed. And even if you're, an amazing marketer and you're doing all kinds of split testing and you have great copy and you're, running pay-per-click ads and you have all these other things that you're committed to, you really need to develop yourself internally. And this is why they say so often that your business can only grow to the extent that you do. And what that really means to me is overcoming limiting beliefs and constantly focusing on a quality of energetic expansion, on being really committed to radiating that sense of innate power and confidence, conviction in your message. So I can't overemphasize that. And it's a big part of the coaching work that I do is helping people really shift into this way of relating to themselves and relating to their audience. So we could obviously spend the entire time just talking about this, but let's go ahead and shift gears to pillar number 2, because for time purposes, I don't want to keep you here all day. All right, so pillar number 2 is creating your marketing funnel. And you see this graphic here that says attract, engage, nurture, and convert. That's basically what your marketing funnel is doing. Your marketing funnel is the process you take someone through from initial exposure to the end of your work or interactions together. That's kind of the most simplistic way to understand a marketing funnel. And on the internet, your marketing funnel really begins and ends with your website and your email list. So I really want you to understand this point, that in order to succeed online and create something that's sustainable, that has long-term growth potential, you need to get quite developed at your marketing funnel. You need to really understand how that works and why it's so important. So you need a compelling opt-in offer on your website to get visitors to leave their name and email address with you. So this is really one of the foundational starting points of an online business, is you need to start building your email list. And if you're not doing that already, this is the number one thing I want you to shift right now. And even if you are, I want you to make it more important than it is to you right now, because it's really, the key to internet marketing is building your email list and building connections with the people on that list and having an amazing follow-up sequence that you take people through that naturally makes them want to buy from you. So remember, most people will not buy from you right away. They're not going to go to your website. Maybe they found your fan page on Facebook, or they clicked on an ad on Google, or found typed in a keyword or something, and they came to your site or your blog. Most people will not go, oh, where's the buy now button? They won't do that right away unless they already know you, or they, somebody just gave them a glowing recommendation, referred them to your website. That can be the exception, but most people, they need that repetitive relationship building to feel comfortable making a buying decision. So this is why you want to structure your website so you're getting email leads first and then building a relationship with those leads over time. So you want those 7 to 9 points of contact to continually develop that relationship with that new prospect. The bigger your email list gets, the more money you make, the more exposure and traffic you get, and the more perceived expertise you will have. Now, these benefits really come about from not only the email list, but having the marketing funnel in place that naturally builds trust with people, builds goodwill, establishes rapport, and makes them more inspired and empowered to make a buying decision with you. So the key is to set up an automated follow-up email sequence that perfectly reflects your purpose, talents, and vision, and shares that with everyone who opts in. So this really is an art unto itself, and it requires some contemplation and skill. And this is where your communication skills are just imperative to your success, because how you communicate your message, how you share value and benefits with people will be the bottom line in determining if they click the buy now button, if they click the add to cart button, right? So you really want to develop this skill of persuasive, compelling communication. And that's really what gets infused into your marketing funnel. So to build an empire, you need an effective funnel for both leads and customers. So leads are people that come to your website, they opt into your email list. A customer is, of course, somebody that's purchased something, whatever level price point that is. They're now a little different level of engagement in your funnel than just a lead. So leads should be encouraged to invest in low-end services or products up front, and customers, once they buy the low-end service or product, should be encouraged to invest in more mid to high-level services or products. So you want to have follow-up sequences in place for both leads and customers. And this is another big mistake I see a lot of online entrepreneurs make, is their follow-up sequence for both is really deficient. It's just limited and somewhat deficient. So you want a very strong conversion process from lead to customer, But then the big mistake is that once they are a customer, not having the next conversion process in place to take them to a higher level customer. Because once they've purchased, this is now the person that is going to be much more likely to invest in the full gamut of what you have to offer and to go through your entire marketing funnel to the endpoint of the most deluxe high-end service or product that you have to offer. So you really want to get quite savvy and skilled at developing the conversion process for both of these ends of the spectrum, for both leads and customers, okay? So setting up your unique marketing funnel is going to take you a little time, guidance, and support. This is not something that many coaches or gurus out there focus on, but it really is the foundation of your online success. You know, there's so much, I think, superficial information out there online about, oh, you know, here's how you drive traffic, here's how you sell affiliate products, here's how you use social media to blah, blah, blah. None of that stuff really matters if you don't have the right foundation set up. So once you drive that traffic and people are finding out about you, you have to take them through a very strategic sequence of events in order to optimize the chance of them actually purchasing something from you. Huge, huge area of weakness. I hate to be judgmental, but it's just true for so many of us, especially more service-based entrepreneurs who are trying to make a difference. They don't really get how key this is to their success. So the goal here is to drive traffic to your website and then take visitors through an automated process that naturally makes them want to buy from you and then buy again. And this can all be done in a way that feels very authentic and very natural. And this is the beauty of online marketing. And this is, you know, your marketing funnel is really what frees you up in your life. Because if you know how to drive traffic and you have a really good funnel set up, it basically runs on autopilot. And that's, I don't even really like that term because it's so overused, but it is true. I mean, you have an automated way of building connections with a tremendous amount of people. And the people that are the right fit for what you have to offer will naturally go through that funnel and buy what you suggest, buy what you are recommending to them. The others will not, or maybe they need more time, and you continually stay in touch with those people too. But so much of this is automated, and it really leverages your time to have your marketing funnel set up in this way. This is a big subject, and it's something that I'm going to be talking a lot more about in my membership program and on my blog. So, because it is an area of weakness for a lot of us, honestly, and it's something that if we can strengthen this, your funnel, it'll make a huge difference in your business, in your quality of life, and so on. With that said, though, let's shift gears and talk about pillar number 3, which is building your audience. Building your audience. So now that we've established the right online foundation and follow-up sequence, and we've, you know, even prior to that, we've really committed to this place of inner empowerment and purpose. Now it's time to really get out there and get as much exposure as we possibly can. And the more the better. I mean, you really want to look at building your audience as somewhat of a numbers game. That, you know, if you can get thousands of people to hear about what you're doing, this is really good. I mean, you know, so I hear so many people say, like, I just prefer quality over quantity. I say have both. Have both. You know, it's a limiting belief to think that you just need quality and not quantity. You need a tremendous amount of people out there hearing your message if it is your goal to create like a high 6-figure or 7-figure online business. Your audience has to be very large most of the time for that to really happen effectively. And it's really not that hard to do. It's amazing, you know, with the advent of social media and all these different advertising strategies that we are, you know, have right at our disposal. It's really not that hard to build an audience. So I'm going to walk you through some of the basics. In case this is a new term to you, your audience is really the built-in network of people who have come to value what you have to say, trust your guidance, and respect your opinion. Some of these people will have bought from you already, some will not, but it's just this group of people that come to really respect what you have to offer. And without an audience on the internet, you really don't have a business. And this is a major reason why so many online entrepreneurs struggle. They don't know how to build their audience and get the exposure they need to generate the kind of income that they desire. So your audience is what drives traffic to your website. You know, when you get traffic to your website, you get more leads. When you get more leads, you get more customers and more sales. This is the general process and how it works, right? So it all starts with your audience. You need to get out there and continually engage with people, get more and more people connected to what you're offering them, right? So your audience takes three main forms, and this is more my experience, maybe my opinion, but this is really what you want to focus on in terms of building out your audience. Your email list is really the essential component of your audience, and I've already mentioned that, but you definitely want to consider your email list to be your primary audience. Right next to that would be your social media following, and then third would be your client or customer database. So you really want to have all three of these in place. Whether you have a brick and mortar business or just an online business, I really think having all three of these is just so key for your success. Success with a capital S, right? Not just money, but like time freedom, location freedom, the ability to just sustain something long term. It really comes down to how well you're taking care of these three components of your business. So let's go into a little bit more depth here. The goal is to build out these first two assets as quickly as possible, your email list and your social media following. And doing this in the right way will naturally build your client or customer base. So the bigger that email list gets, the bigger your social media following gets. It should just naturally happen that you start to get more customers and more sales, more clients through that process. That should be a very organic evolution in your business. And there are many ways to build your audience. Some of these are free strategies and some are paid. Now, a general rule of thumb is that if you're paying to build your audience, you should see results faster than if you're not paying. And I hear some people say, especially, I think people in the service-based businesses, oh, I just don't feel like paying for my audience has much integrity, or it doesn't feel authentic to me. I think it's a limiting belief, and I really recommend that you do whatever you can to get your message in front of as many people as possible. Whether you have to pay for that or not, it doesn't really matter. As long as the audience is targeted and they're in the scope of the audience that you want to focus on, I'm totally cool with you paying for that audience. Whether you're using Facebook advertising, Google ads, or banner advertising, definitely a lot of the most successful online entrepreneurs are paying to build their audience, at least in part. You want to combine it with other strategies, but if you're willing to invest in your audience and building it out, you should see results faster, okay? Let's cover some of the main ways that you build your audience. Search engine optimization, blogging, guest blogging, Google AdWords, Facebook pay-per-click marketing, networking on social media, video marketing, banner advertising, article marketing, and joint ventures or affiliates. I would say these are the top 8 or 9 ways that you're going to build your audience. And you'll see here, some of these are free strategies, some of these are paid. And I use the word free in a very loose term here, in a loose context, because nothing is really free. I mean, if you're using blogging, for instance, or guest blogging, you're investing a lot of time in creating that content. Time is a resource that is just as valuable as money, right? So whether you're investing time or money or energy, you're paying something here. You're sacrificing something to get the result that you want, right? So I really recommend a combination of all of these different strategies. You want to dive into 2 or 3 of them up front, get really good at them, or at least develop a working facility with them, and then you can start to rotate through the others. The most successful online entrepreneurs that are making high 6, 7-figure businesses here, they're really using a combination of all of these strategies from what I can tell. I certainly do. I rely heavily on SEO, blogging, doing lots of Google AdWords, pay-per-click marketing, networking, tons of YouTube videos, all of these strategies really. So we don't have time in this webinar to go into a lot of depth on any one of these, but I just want you to kind of lay out this blueprint in your marketing plan, okay? That these are the ways that you're going to focus in and build your online business. If you can commit to one paid strategy, probably at the top of the list for me would be Facebook pay-per-click right now, at least. That would be great because that's going to directly build your audience out, get you results a lot faster. And then it all, everything has like a snowball effect. These are all strategies that are, kind of interconnected, and there's a synergy between all of them. So as your fan page grows, you should get more traffic to your blog. As you get more traffic to your blog, your email list grows. As your email list grows, the opportunity for joint ventures and affiliates becomes more prominent, and more people will be watching your videos. All of these things really do interrelate, and that's why you want to really, bring attention to all of them and have more of a holistic plan in terms of how you market. So some of this is definitely time management, energy allocation, and just knowing how to use your resources in the right way. Some of it is just choosing productivity over perfection, which is one of the mantras I really embrace in my own life. Is if you're really attached to perfectionism, you will never produce on the scale that will generate astounding financial results or lifestyle freedom. Get out there, really just make as many connections, crank out as much content, build your fan base as large as you possibly can. Let go of all the nitpicky little details and focus on the bottom line of what really matters, what really impacts your growth and the results that you're looking for financially in your life. So, I see a lot of online entrepreneurs being a little too nitpicky and focused on details that don't really directly impact their bottom line. It's really about how much productivity you have, how much content you create, how well you're out there networking, building relationships, how good you are at advertising. If you can just focus on those skills and develop them, that's what's going to lead to the results that you want and take you to the style of life that you're looking for. All right, so let's keep moving forward here. And ultimately, your main focus should be on driving traffic to your website using Google, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. These are really the 4 big sites that you want to channel in on and get quite good at marketing on and driving traffic from. So all of these are within the top 10 most trafficked websites on the planet, and each has its own strategies, methods, and so on to get noticed and to drive people to your website. And like I said, ideally you want to use a combination of all of these strategies. Right now for me, like my favorite website on the planet for marketing purposes is definitely Facebook, because it's such an innovative, creative site that you can use in so many ways that I think a lot of people are still relatively in the dark about. I mean, I really use that for 90% of my focus goes there to build out my audience and to engage with people and drive traffic. It's an amazing website. But they're all amazing. I mean, Google, YouTube, Twitter. I mean, there's so much you can do with these websites to build out your audience and to just get more traffic. So there's a lot we could say about traffic generation. Obviously, it's a big, 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 big topic, and we can honestly keep it very simple though too. And what it really boils down to is you getting out there and experimenting and taking action and trying new things, being willing to make mistakes. But also getting, definitely the right support and the right guidance from people, like me who have done this and who have done a lot of the trial and error and can help you get a lot of the right systems and strategies in place without just wanting to pull your hair out or, just jump off a bridge sometimes. Because I do hear this in internet marketing a lot, that there's such a high, kind of failure rate and so many people that feel frustrated with how this is all developing for them. So we really want to make sure that you're moving forward in the most graceful way possible. Yes, you will make mistakes, and you will have times where you look at your results and say, "Gosh, can it just be way beyond this already? Can't I just expedite this learning curve to the point where I never have to feel the pain of growing this business?" And honestly, I mean, just really honestly, I don't know any online entrepreneur that hasn't felt growing pains, that hasn't gone through the fire of trial and error. It's just part of the path. And with that said, though, I think we can really keep it to a minimum. And I think we can do a lot of different things in terms of guiding you gracefully through this process so that you're really staying focused on what matters most. You have the right action plan in place, and the failure rate happens in such a way that it does not deter you or make you want to just abandon what you're doing. That's so important that you generally just stay very committed to this and give it a long-term level of commitment, that regardless of what short-term results you get, you're there with it and in your heart this is what you want. And like I said, I'm here to help you every step of the way to ensure that we're moving you forward as fast as we possibly can. So let's summarize some of our main points here today. You want to get clear on your purpose and why there's a desperate need for what you have to offer in our world. Make sure that there are people out there who are willing to invest money in what you want to offer. You want to create an online foundation that naturally builds relationships, conveys expertise, and leads to sales without requiring much effort at all on your part. That's your marketing funnel. And then you want to create a traffic generation plan to flood you with website visitors using the most visited websites on the planet: Google, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and so on. So this is how you're going to create your own online empire within the next few months. This is really it. I mean, these are the main points you want to keep in mind. Get empowered, build your foundation, drive traffic. Over and over and over again, that's mainly what we're doing. And if you look at it through that lens, it's not that big of a deal, and it's not even that hard. These are the three key components that you want to integrate. Now, as I'm sure you're starting to see, though, there are definitely quite a few moving parts and details here that need attention and focus. And honestly, most people never come close to realizing their ideal business in life because they remain lost in confusion and overwhelm, limiting beliefs, and so on. And they procrastinate on the things that matter most in life. So you're here right now because I think you're probably done with procrastination. You're probably done with compromise and mediocrity, and you're like, let's do this. I want to move forward, and I'm ready to go, and I know what I want to offer, and I'm ready to just get out there and build my audience, create my funnel, and build a business that frees up my life. And I commend you for that. It's a beautiful thing when it's in place. So since you're watching this, I know you are different, and you're ready to create a business and life that reflects who you really are, and is free of limitation, and provides you with a lifestyle that has infinite possibilities. And in my experience, and just from a lot of the people that I am inspired by in online entrepreneurship, your online business can lead to freedom from a lot of different qualities that people struggle from in our conventional world. Time freedom, money freedom, stress freedom, location freedom, and staff freedom. If you have freedom from these 5 components, I mean, you're running a business that is just in rarefied air. And so few people do this because they don't know how accessible it is for them, and really how easy it is on so many levels to start moving in this direction. So that's what the power of an online business can do for you. There are no constraints around your time. You get to structure your schedule how you want. There's no financial ceiling or cap. You're not just trading time for money. Your stress level is kept to a minimum because everything's pretty much automated. And you can do this business anywhere. It's a mobile business that you can do from Hawaii, from Fiji, from New York City. It doesn't really matter where you do this, as long as you have an internet connection. And freedom from staff. Now, you probably will need some customer service support for what you're doing in the form of a virtual assistant or somebody else. But you generally don't need 100 people managing all the different facets of your business, unless that's what you want. Which some people do, but most of us do not. So you can still generate a very high level income business and keep it extremely simple in terms of the customer support and staff that you take on. So that's a really amazing thing that very few people get to experience. So there's never been a time like this in history where the average person has the opportunity to build an enormous audience, automate sales, and create lifestyle freedom doing what they love. Honestly, most people don't see it. Most people are just in the dark about this right now, and they're still off doing what they do, working their 9 to 5, complaining about their lives, settling for mediocrity. They don't get how much opportunity is right in front of them if they just learned how to use the internet to package their purpose and monetize their gifts. That's available to you right now. And I'm telling you that this is real for you. And regardless of what anyone says, you absolutely can do this. So what we need to do then is to get these 3 pillars set up for you in the most efficient and effective way possible. Your vision and purpose, your marketing funnel, and your audience. If you can do that, you're golden, and you've created something that will take you to the level of lifestyle freedom that you really, really want. Now, this is where the Business Freedom Membership can help you. This is an online monthly training program that has every resource you will need to build your ideal business as quickly as possible. Now, if you want to get more traffic, see more clients, sell more products, or generate more income, this membership is designed for you. This is not the typical internet marketing program where you're given all kinds of random money-making gimmicks and tips that typically lead to disappointment. This is very, very different, and it's really being led with value and substance here. This is about merging who you are, your passions, gifts, and talents with your ideal online business. This is about marketing your business in a way that is 100% genuine and naturally attracting your ideal audience as a result. And this is about creating a foundation that conveys your power, uniqueness, and value in a way that compels people to want more. Now, for only $1, you can access the entire membership and start getting the support you need to expand quickly. The training here is raw, sincere, and very powerful in that it is born out of my direct experience building my own online businesses and coaching thousands of people to do the same. So I've been able to create a level of success in my coaching business and selling ebooks and membership programs and Kindle products and all these wonderful things. I've been able to do this. Yes, there's lots of trial and error, and I've definitely gone through periods of failure and setbacks, but I look at where I'm at now, and I'm just so grateful and blessed to have the business that I do. And I see, just directly what it's done for my quality of life, freeing up my time. And I get it now, like how important that is, and how it basically is like it basically makes or breaks the quality of one's life to set up business on their own terms. So that's why I'm so passionate about this membership and what it can do for you. So this is a rare opportunity to get marketing training from somebody who's actually done what you're looking to do, who's come through the other side and gets the challenges that you're facing right now. So go ahead and click the button below to learn more about the membership and get started, and you can get immediate access to the membership. You can literally log into the members area 24/7 and do this all on your own time. So there are no time constraints. It's all set up in a way that is meant to give you maximum benefit and an optimal opportunity for success. You can cancel the membership anytime, so there truly is no risk. And there's infinite upside in that you're about to be shown how to actualize your fullest potential, both financially and internally. So these kinds of programs routinely go for a few hundred to several $1,000s on the internet based on the value and quality of what I'm showing you here. And I'm not saying that from a hype-based perspective. I know how that feels. We're like, yeah, it's really worth $20,000 and you get it for, $20. I've been in those situations and I know what that's like. But I will honestly say this. I have put an extremely high level of care and quality into the training that you're about to get access to for $1. Why am I keeping it at $1? Because I want more people out there to do the work that they love and to make a positive impact on this world. The world needs it. More people around the world need this kind of guidance. You have something to offer that I believe is precious, and I don't want the money to be the main obstacle that you're facing in terms of really realizing your dreams and getting your message out there to make a positive impact on the world. So I can't wait to work with you and to help you create your own ideal online business starting right now. You can go ahead and click the button below this webinar to learn more about the membership. And I just really appreciate you taking the time once again to really integrate this information into your business and your life and to start taking action on the things that matter most to you. Like I said, we're deeply conditioned to procrastinate on the things that really directly impact our quality of life. And our society is full of these distractions and different sources of confusion and stress and so on. And you're here right now because you're ready to break through that. You're ready to transcend so much of the struggle and limitation that people put up with out there. And I really believe that this blueprint and all the training you're about to get access to in the Business Freedom membership is a very direct gateway into the life that you really want. It's not random that you're here, and I'm really excited to take you through this journey. So go ahead and click the button below and let's get started. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll be in touch soon.